I will be speaking in my own dialect, which even English people have a problem with. Closer in rhythm and claims to the Scandinavian language than it is to standard English. It's called Geordie. But I'm hoping, although some of the words may be strange to you, that it will communicate something meaningful. That's my hope anyway. I'm going to stand up. I can't say something. Is this a microphone? Yeah, it's for you.
If the workers' revolution here is ever to be viable, we become the rightful owners of this shipyard. on the stoppage, or an overtime ban, or a work to rule for the 5-year plan, till the means of production are safely in our hands, and we become the rightful owners of the shipyard. I'm not saying it won't be hard if the boss hands us me cards when they try to close us down like other shipyards. And if industrial action only helps the competition, as I've heard the bosses bleating from their usual position, and I stand accused of anarchy, disruption,